Welcome back to the Colonials football pregame show. On Sunday, the Colonials played their first conference game of the season, taking on the Cheltenham Panthers at home. The game got off to a slow start as neither team scored a single point in the first quarter. It wasn't until the Colonials defense decided to wake up and pump the life back into PW as they forced their first safety of the year with under a minute left in the second quarter. The Colonials would follow that up with a 47-yard rushing touchdown by Nazai Boggs after receiving the Cheltenham kick. Sylvain Sproul would thread the extra point right between the pipes with just seconds remaining in the half, and the Colonials go into the locker room leading 9-0. Next, we go to the third quarter where Tommy Haiden had 14 points all to himself, with back-to-back drives scoring two 30-yard touchdowns and converting an extra 2 points after the second TD. And with 8 minutes left in the game, O'Brien puts the dagger into the Panthers' heart with a 2-yard rushing touchdown, solidifying the Colonials' win with a final score of 37-6. Now, I got a chance to speak with Coach Chang yesterday about Sunday's game, and here's what he had to say. Third consecutive game in a row, scoring at least 5 touchdowns against your opponent. What does this say about the program?
I think we're just in a good spot right now offensively, where we have leaders there who are running the show, where our offensive line is getting better. We're protecting the football most importantly, and we're getting better each week in terms of execution. So when you do those things, you protect the football, you execute, your O-line is playing well, you're going to score points.
Third time in a row beating Cheltenham. Any comment on that?
It's always a great game. They're a good opponent. They come in, bring a lot of energy, and, we feed off of that. It's another good win for us. A good way for us to get better, and now we move on to the next one.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Now we hear Coach Chang talk about how the leaders are starting to step up and how they are taking care of the football more, which is all good to win football games. But I'd like to add to that in the sense that what we've seen over these past few weeks of games is whenever the starters have been on the field, they are playing like the score is at 0-0. And I know they got off to a rocky start on Sunday, but 2 weeks ago, they were showing no mercy with the run and pass game, even when they had scored 3, 4, 5 touchdowns before the half. Of course, eventually Coach Chang puts in the second and third team, but I think this is important because as the Colonials get closer to the playoffs, they're not guaranteed a home field advantage because they're currently tied with Upper Moreland. So when you're faced with adversity on the road, you have to send a violent message to the other team, whether you're up 21 or down 21, because that is how you're going to win the state bracket and improve from last year's third-round exit. Now we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Still lots more to come.
One bag of chips. That's all it takes to attract a black bear to your tent when camping. If the bear rips through your tent, a carefree camping trip can turn deadly. When visiting a national forest, do your part to prevent bear encounters by storing food and scented items in bear-proof containers, your car's trunk, or high in a tree. Learn more online at fs.usda.gov/NC. This message is a public service of the U.S. Forest Service and this radio station.
Did you know that the safest way for babies to sleep is on their backs? Sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS, is the leading cause of death in infants between 1 month and 1 year of age. You can reduce the risk of SIDS by placing babies on their backs to sleep for naps and at night. To learn more, call 1-800-505-CRIB. That's 1-800-505-2742. This ad is a public service of this station and the American Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Colonials football pregame show. The Colonials play in only their second conference game of the year this Friday, away against William Tennant. It will be a little under a year since these teams last met this upcoming Friday, as the Panthers enter the contest at 1-4, coming off a tough loss on the road against Upper Moreland. The Colonials should have it easy against a really beat-up Panthers defense. Tennant has only given up at least 3 touchdowns in all of its 4 losses that they have had this season. Last week, the Panthers gave up 2 receptions for 46 yards in the air and 223 rushing yards on the ground against the Golden Bears. Now, I was lucky enough to also have a chance to speak with the left tackle, Nate Mascio, so let's listen in on that. Nate, how much did the weather affect your strategy going into Sunday?
I would say it affected our strategy not too much, but a little bit because our playbook, we have some pass plays, so we weren't really able to throw the ball that much because of the weather and the sideways range. That did not help us at all, but we were still able to pound it in with our run game. So,
Yeah. What were your thoughts about playing in the game that took place on Sunday afternoon with the bad weather?
I feel like that atmosphere is only going to bring us the fact that we were clicking in that type of weather. That's only going to make us better as a team, and that's just the beginning of our talent. And that's just showing how much chemistry and how good we can be.
When was the last time you played in a Sunday game?
Hasn't been ever for me. So, ever. I don't think it's been. Anyone's ever played in a Sunday game. So, ever since Peeway.
Yeah.
Pop Warner.
Good talking to you.
Good talking to you.
That was some interesting insight there from Nate. It was really good to get a chance to talk with him. Really nice guy. Now, I think I'm going to have to take the Colonials in this one on Friday, and I'll explain that in a minute. But first, make sure to buy your tickets for the game Friday, as the Colonials will take on William Tennant on the road. Tickets are $5 at the door, or you can purchase them online to skip the line, and you'll receive a slight discount. But in all honesty, the game should be worth about 50 cents. Anyway, I predict that the final score will be 49-14 in favor of the Colonials. The Colonials should continue their hot scoring streak, as the end zones look twice the size for PW. And I think the Panthers will sneak a few points by the Colonials' D-line, as they scored a couple touchdowns last week against a pretty good Golden Bears team. I can't see Tennant getting any yards or points in the air, as the Colonial secondary has been playing lights out as well. Now that is all the time we have for today. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And so long from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School in the CITV studios. This is Haiden Haley, signing off.